Hello everyone. Since I have reached 20 subscribers in my channel, I have decided to have a little celebration which will include sharing these two games with you. I hope that they can teach you something important that you can add in your chess knowledge. The first game was played by the former world champion Wilhelm Steinitz against Duffy. So let's see the game. Wilhelm Steinitz was playing white and he started the game with e4. Duffy played e5. Knight to f3. Knight to c6. Bishop to c4. And bishop to c5. The Joko piano. Wilhelm Steinitz responded with the most aggressive line, which is somehow popular nowadays. He played b4, the Evans gambit. Duffy accepted the sacrifice, so bishop takes on b4 was played, and now c3, bishop to c5. Steinitz castled kingside. d6 was played, protecting the e5 pawn and perhaps intending to develop the light squared bishop. d4, going for the center and opening more lines for pieces for the attack. E takes on d4, c takes on d4, bishop to b6, and d5, attacking the knight. Knight to a5 and e5. So what was Stein's idea here? Bishop to d7 was played, by the way. Let's take it back. If knight takes on a7, on c4, then queen to a4 check, and after the bishop closes the diagonal, queen takes on c4, and with more lines of attacking the black's position, white is slightly better. Back to our game. Bishop to d7 was played. Bishop to d7 was played. Bishop to d3, removing the bishop because the diagonal now is closed by the light squared bishop of black. Knight to e7, knight to c3. In this position, I just took a move back. In this position, Wilhelm Steinitz missed a winning shot, which might have given him more initiative. He could have played e6, and after f takes on e6, d takes on e6, bishop takes on e6. Black would respond by queen to d7, preparing long castling and protecting the bishop, which may seem more natural, but white will respond by queen to e2, adding more pressure on that file. Then after bishop to g4, removing the target, then bishop to g5, adding more pressure on that file, and in this position white stands better. Back to our game. William Steinitz played knight to c3. The other commentators said Steinitz wanted his opponent to castle, and then he would start a direct attack on the king. So castling was played by black as expected. Bishop to g5, pinning the knight on the queen. Queen to e8. Knight to e4. The world champion is adding more pieces on the king side so that his attack would be powerful. Knight to g6, adding the defender in an important square and perhaps attacking the e5 pawn. But Steinitz had a surprise. Are you ready to see the move? The move is kaboom. Knight to f6, check, giving up the knight for some reasons. G takes on f6 was played. This move was forced because if the king moved, then the queen would be captured and it's probably game over. So bishop takes on f6, then d takes on e5, and queen to d2. White is intending queen to h6 and queen to g7 mate. How will black respond? Knight to f4 seems more natural. Don't you agree? The black player played that move as well. But there was another surprise, which was queen takes on f4, boom, giving up the queen for the knight. What did Steinitz have in mind? E takes on f4 was played. Knight to g5. Wow, threatening. Bishop takes on h7, checkmate. Queen to e4 was played because black had to sacrifice the knight to prevent the mate. Bishop takes on e4 and white preserves his attack on the king. So black has to respond. Rook from f to e8, attacking or perhaps removing the rook on the f file, making more room for the king. So bishop takes on h7, check was played. King to f8, bishop to d3. Now the knight will be ready to jump over the h7 square. a6 was played, which seems kind of strange. Knight to h7 check. King to g8. Sorry about that. King to g8. Bishop to c3. Preparing knight to f6 check. Rook to e7, which is another blunder because of knight to f6 check. And after king to f8, bishop to b4. It was in this position that Duffy resigned the game. Well, the rook will be captured soon, or perhaps white can even start by taking the bishop first, and then after capturing the bishop, he'll capture the rook and trade the dark squared bishop 2, leaving black with a helpless position, and perhaps white can start pushing the h pawn forward, and all in all, white will stand better. Most Polish players, the white player, international master, Rotlewi, and the black player, the Polish grandmaster, Rubinstein. So without further ado, let's see the game. Mr. Rotlewi started the game with d4. Rubinstein played d5, knight to f3, e6, e3, c5, c4. We have a symmetrical position of the queen's pawn game. Knight to c6, knight to c3, knight to f6, and d takes on c5. Let's take it back. In this position, c takes on d5 was better for white, and after black recaptures, bishop to e2 followed by castling would be much stronger. Back to our game. D takes on c5 was played. Bishop takes on c5, a3, a6, kicking the bishop away, bishop to d6, bishop to b2, short castling, queen to d2, which is kind of strange, queen to e7, bishop to d3, which is an inaccuracy. D takes on c4 was played. Bishop takes on c4. Now you can see the bishop had to move away 2 times. b5, bishop to d3, rook to d8, queen to e2, removing the queen from the x-ray on the d file. Bishop to b7, short castling, knight to e5, going for the center and attacking the white bishop. Knight takes on e5, bishop takes on e5, f4, attacking the bishop, bishop to c7, e4. I think the white player's plan here is to try and open the center, and which will include opening more lines for the pieces for the attack. Rook from a to c8, e5, bishop to b6 check, king to h1, and knight to g4. What is black's plan here? Black is making a temporary sacrifice, by the way, because if queen takes the knight on g4, then rook takes the bishop on d3, and the position would be slightly better for black. So white responded by bishop to e4 and queen to h4. Now black is striving for the checkmate on h2. g3 was played. If h3, then queen to g3, intending checkmate on the h2, and after h takes on g4, queen to h4, checkmate. Back to our game. g3 was played, and here it comes. Rook takes on c3, g takes on h4, rook to d2, queen takes on d2, bishop takes on e4, check, and after queen to g2, rook to h3. It was in this position that Mr. Rotlewi resigned the game. Well, rook takes on h3 is inevitable because almost every piece you sacrifice will not make you stand better. The strongest continuation would be bishop to d4. Sorry about that. Bishop to d4. Then bishop takes on d4 would be played. And after you sacrifice the rook, maybe, then rook takes, and still you cannot prevent the mate. Even if any move you play, let's say rook to g1, then rook takes on h2 is checkmate. Great win by the great Akiba Rubinstein. If you want to learn more about this player, which he was a very incredible player, you may search his games over the Remote Chess Academy website, which perhaps they may give you better analysis of his end games. Hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more great coming videos. See you soon.